Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps. How do I say
Creeps and Crimes.
Okay, here we go. Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps and Crimes
Podcast.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Morgan. Happy Thursday and happy creepy account and happy episode
228. 228. Big news next week is going to be when we release what Morgan's birthday month code, let me correct that, Pisces season code is going to be for her birthday with Susan to get a reading.
Ooh, everyone's welcome.
Yes, so we're very excited about that. Just be on the
love
lookout.
sharing my birthday gifts with the world.
Of course. So we will be telling you what the code is and when it starts and when it ends. Next episode in 229.
I want to talk about Susan getting on our live today.
Yeah, she did so good.
I was so impressed.
I know, she did
I
so
just
good.
popped in like I do to yours.
Yeah.
I'll pop in on work if I have a second. And I just chat up and I'm like, Ellen was reading some comments.
Yeah.
But Susan was able to read comments.
I know, and talk. I was
and
like,
talk and
crazy.
respond to the comment. I can't even do that.
No,
Taylor was
I
like,
can't do it.
Taylor gave me her phone to finish her live while she was finishing up like a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. I'm just sitting there, I'm chatting, and she gets the phone back and she's like, bitch, you didn't scroll at all. Like, I just thought the comments were automatic like they are when you're watching the live.
Yeah.
So I just thought no one was talking to me. Meanwhile, Susan's over there. She fucking knows the fucking
She's got it rolling. She's reading it like a teleprompter.
She did better than
She
I
did so good. I talked to her after, and
good.
we're going to do, we FaceTime for a little bit. We got some fun planned for
fun.
us.
Yeah, I suggested a sound bath.
Yeah, that's like kind of what we were going off of. And also possibly like a new little series for Susan. But we'll talk about it later.
Love that.
Off mic. What does this come out? What day is it? Does anyone?
Okay.
I know it's February by the time you hear this, but when you're listening to this, it's still January. And my God.
This is the longest month I think I've ever lived.
I mean,
ever.
I mean, is it 465 days or what? I'm profusely sweating. I must say, I'm profusely sweating. I haven't stopped. My problem is I had crack coca today.
Sorry.
Let me give you a list of what's in my body right now. Woke up, had a nice warm coffee, an at-home coffee. Love it. Took my medicine, had a little bit of toast, and then Logan, because we're watching our fur nephew, Stetson. He's a puppy. He's a corgi. You guys have been harassing me saying, did you get a dog? No. I am watching a dog, and I've decided I will never get a dog. He's been nipping, like just wanting to gnaw on things, like mainly. And so I was like, why don't you go get him something that he can gnaw on? Go get a bone, go get something. I don't care.
Puppy
Spend
chewers,
$1 million if you have to. So Logan took him this morning to go to the pet store to go get like a bone and a toy to play with. Because I was excited about that. I was like, I want to get him a toy because I like him. Like, I'm being like pessimist about it, but I like him. He's cute. My favorite part about him is that he's not mine. So Logan goes, he takes him, and when Logan's out, he's like, hey, I'm going to go and get some Starbucks or like a Dunkin' or something. Do you want anything? I was like, yeah. If you go to Starbucks, get me a shaken espresso. If you go to Dunkin', get me a medium coffee. Cream. And I said, if you go to Starbucks, can give me a sandwich. And then if you go to Dunkin', I'm going to need a donut. So he's like, cool. I was like, executive decision's up to you. So he goes to Starbucks. I haven't had Starbucks in a minute. Like, I can't even think of the last time. Maybe September?
Yeah, me neither. And there's actually a lot of changes.
Really?
Can't get free ice water. You can't get a free pup cup. Well, all without purchases. You have to have a purchase to get an ice water. Inside Starbucks, if you were to go order for there.
I saw that on
it's
the
like
news.
glass cups,
like bold for
refills.
them. Aren't they like a little bit on edge right now?
Yeah, they're
bold
the
for you,
big
babe.
old
Like,
controversy.
yeah, so bold. Like from every side.
Well, and also I just lately too, beyond the controversy, their coffee's kind of shit.
No, really, it's not
Like,
been hitting.
It hasn't been hitting. It's always either burnt or it's like 90% milk and cream or whatever they mix with, 10% coffee or
Barely.
espresso.
So I drink it. They put fucking speed in that. Like,
That coffee did hit today.
yeah, like it just like made me sick. You know, like when when it like hits you on a rush. Like, I've been hot and sweaty all day, especially because that with Adderall, like that's not good for anybody.
Yeah,
My heart's gonna explode. Yeah, like
for sure.
I've been sweating profusely. I've had my fan on. Like, I had the window cracked.
You know what I had today
What?
for lunch? And let's not forget, this is a hospital cafeteria.
Oh, let's go.
I had a crab cake.
Oh God, more. Are you okay? How's your intestines?
I really wasn't okay at the end of my shift. And then even whenever I got home, and my belly still does be hurting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, that Maryland crab cake fucking smacked. It was so good. I had like I don't even like Dijon. I don't even like seafood.
Yeah.
I like crab legs. I'm not like crab cakes.
Yeah.
And I hate Dijon mustard. And it had like this Dijon. I don't know what I was doing today.
What are you doing?
I was just scooping my crab cake.
You're in a hospital.
Even one of my coworkers like, "What are you getting?" And I'm like, "Crab cake."
I don't know. I needed a crab cake today for some reason. Yeah. See,
So-
I think I'd rather have the speed coffee.
So I'm sure it really wasn't crab.
Over
I
a
don't know what
hospital
I
Maryland
ate,
crab
but
cake.
I know that hospital didn't have real. It was imitation crab
that's
or
gotta
something.
be something.
Yeah.
That's gotta be something.
So
Ugh, you know what I could do right now? A triple dipper. That sounds
triple what?
triple dipper from Chili's.
Oh. That was never a Chili's. You were always in
always a
college.
Chili's
You were
girl.
always a Chili's, but I didn't have a Chili's growing up, so
Yeah.
I was never a Chili's person. I was
We
an
had
Applebee's.
a Chili's in Cleveland. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. when
We were
got
big Applebee's kids.
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, our Applebee's had rats, literally.
Oh, I'm sure ours did too.
But you know what? I went to our
Don't they all?
right. I've never met an Applebee's that didn't have rats. We went to the Applebee's the other day because
Corporate knocking on our door tomorrow.
literally suing us, defamation. We went to an Applebee's the other day because my in-laws do trade with them, and so cheap as shit. Like
Yeah.
we get like 50% off when we go, and I gotta say it was bomb.
Applebee's?
Yeah, was it Chili's level? Absolutely not.
Wait, I'm sorry. Back home or here?
Back home.
Where is there one here?
I don't know, but there's not a fucking Baskin Robbins here either.
Wait, pause. Is there an Applebee's in
there
Knoxville?
has to be one. You guys have? Hasn't Aaron ordered it before?
I've never had Applebee's in Knoxville.
I think there's got to be one for sure. Let me look it
Like,
up.
just think of like the main stretch. I don't know of an Applebee's on Kingston Pike. Do you?
Applebee's. I don't think I've ever been on the lookout. Oh yeah, here there is one.
You know what I've been craving is some like real good Chinese food. Not wok chow. Like I need a
real
local Chinese
good-
restaurant.
Yeah, there's tons in Cleveland. There's not really.
Well, I
that
looked
many
up
here.
the best one on Facebook.
Is it Purple Plum?
Asia Kitchen. Heard it's really good. The pictures looked great.
Let's go.
But then I was like, fucking General Tso's meal for $18.95? Like that's PF Chang's pricing.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not right. If it's that expensive, it's not that good.
Right. That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
where I've always been. If I have to go spend an arm and a leg and it's not like a family running it, I don't want it.
Right.
I'm sorry. I want family like owned. Every episode we talk about food. We're starving. It's 9:00 at night before we get out of here. Everything's
We don't
closed.
eat. We go home. We sleep.
And I'm just like, I don't even want to eat anymore because it's 9. Like, what? Who the hell? Then I'm gonna be up for 4 more hours.
Yeah. Well, I could tell them about my little like ghosty thing since it's a creepy account real quick. So I was laying in bed 2 nights ago. Could not fucking sleep for the life of me. I was waking up every hour. I was spread eagle. And Ollie was like curled up in a ball, like literally in my crotch area. Like,
Right.
so his head was resting on my thigh. His tail was on my thigh. So there was nothing, he was not near me, shin down to my toes. And my feet were like flex up on the fucking end of the bed. I was like, my eyes were closed at this exact second. And it felt like something went and grabbed the blanket, like right outside my foot and like tug. And so I like opened my eyes to make sure like Ollie wasn't down there. And I was like, okay, maybe it was Ollie. Cause like I didn't even know that he had gotten up to where he was laying because he was
Right.
underneath the bed like, when I did fall asleep, and I was sleeping, and that woke me up. And so I'm laying there now wide awake. Earlier that night, I had said to Aaron, I was like, what was that? Like, I'd be like, was that something at the door? Like it felt like the fucking door handle was shaking. Like just
Yeah,
like
gently.
not shaking, but like squeaking.
Yeah, like being twisted.
Yes. This is also the same night of the fucking cat fight out back where they were playing a Western
Literally.
standoff. Like, that was crazy. And so anyway, now I'm awake and I'm laying there and I feel it again. And so I like jolt up. I see nothing. And I'm like, love and white light. And I go back to sleep. But it was like also so gentle that I was like, I'm fucking imagining this. Like I'm in like a paralysis or I'm like hallucinating. I have no fucking idea. But that was crazy.
Well, when you commented that on Susan's live today, all I could think of, that used to happen to me a lot in that house. But I always thought it was my pap because my pap did that.
Like it was like almost like a toe
Just
pull.
he would
Like
come
a
and he'd squeak. He would just.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
it wasn't touching me. It was grabbing the blanket right below and like so the blanket
like,
on my big
shaking
toe was tugging.
It's gotta
And
be
my-
a little boy. Susan said it was a little boy.
Well,
but
and my first thought was that too, but it didn't. I don't think it is.
But you didn't really feel anything about him. Like, you just woke up and you saw him.
Yeah.
So it's not like you feel him because he's a decent energy. Like, he raises his energy or lowers it or whatever he needs to meet you. So you wouldn't even be like, there's a presence in here. It's an old man. You know, oh, I didn't like that. That's got to be someone, a spirit that you're used to.
Yeah, you're right. And I was just like right back to sleep. I'm like,
yeah.
Please.
And then with the little boy, the only thing that startled you is the fact that you could see him.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was there.
I never once sensed him before.
Yeah.
I fucking sat straight up and that motherfucker was right in front of me.
Right. And that isn't the same area that he was.
That's literally the exact same spot. Alrighty. Let's get into this.
Hit it with it.
If you're driving, throw that shit on cruise control.
If you got a glass, pour that shit up.
And let's get creepy.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's 7.
Yeah, Morgan came here at 4:30. I just keep talking today.
But you need to talk.
I need to talk.
Because I think
I had to go get a beer.
The office in Taylor's head right now is on fucking fire, running around.
On fire.
Desperate to find the files.
It truly is. It truly is. It truly is. It's like broken down. We've broken down officially. But not in a bad way. I'm not depressed. If anything, I'm just like, y'all don't need to hear this. Like, I don't need to be happy. Maybe, you know what? Maybe you fucking do. Maybe you do. Because maybe this is what, you guys like, what we miss about you. Okay. But no one leave me a fucking 1-star review whenever I say how I feel. Like, I'm sorry. That reward system hurts me. Okay, I gotta say.
That one's not a good one.
That one's not a good one. That one's toxic, really bad. I was just sitting here telling Morgan for like 4 hours about my personal reward system that makes me have to do things. But I'm just in like a burn it all the fuck down mood.
Yeah, she really is.
I could 100, like, it's just one of the,
I think if there was a weapon next to Taylor and I said one wrong thing right now, I think she could kill me.
I thought you were going to say that this would turn into like one of those like rage rooms where you could just like take a baseball bat.
That too.
I could do that. Like, in fact, I'm about to book an appointment at one right now.
Oh, they have those here?
Yeah, they do. That escape room that we've done, they have a rage
room.
In
the sex club.
Yeah, the sex club one.
We'll just show them our video and they'll be like, you're in.
Guys, our fucking Instagram
reel of our sex sounds has 150,000 views. 150,000. Talk about fucking creeps.
We haven't gotten that. Like, there has never once in history ever once been a reel that got more than 20,000.
Yeah, well, no, I think we've had it in like the 60s before.
Oh, yeah, like, for
random clips.
It was a long time ago, though.
It was, yeah.
It was a long time
recently in a while.
No, and hey, while we're here, post this on your story. Be like, I love these crazy bitches, and that way I know what you're talking about. Okay, thank you. I need a reward. Okay, I need a reward.
Post this on your story and say, God, I just love Taylor and Morgan. They are the best.
They're so funny and they're so positive and they're so charismatic.
So pretty.
You can't say that I'm not charismatic. This is charismatism.
Baby.
What was it called? What is it?
Oh shit. Anyway, we were just saying.
I need a weed drink, not a beer.
Oh yeah, she's drinking a fucking Guinness out of a bottle. I'm just gonna start.
Please do. These creepy accounts are really, really good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there's only 6 because they're long.
I haven't read any of them. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
They're longer ones, but I appreciate it. And these were all sent in after the call out that we did in January, and we were like, send in your creepy accounts before the beginning of February. All of them were like, this is for your February creepy.
Ah, love that.
Love that.
Thank you.
That's
guys.
what I need, babes.
So the first one we have is from Taylor. She, her pronouns. Taylor with an E. Mm-hmm. February creepy accounts. Ghost bonus sister? ? Hello, babes. OG pick me besties, fur babies, and the boys.
Oh, I love the intro.
Included everyone. Avi have to do the standard greetings. Oh my God, I love you both so much. And discovering CNC at the end of season 1 has changed the game for my podcast world. First ever Patreon membership. Since finding y'all, I have since discovered Em and Christine within That's Why We Drink and Heather and Christy at Sinisterhood. Creepy and crimey is the best combo ever.
100%.
I think that's actually the first time that a listener had discovered And That's Why We Drink or Sinisterhood from us.
Yeah, through us. Yeah.
Cool.
That's crazy.
My name is Taylor, she, her pronouns, and yes, you can use my name. I'm a 35-year-old Oklahoma girl, mom of 3, and a big sister with a 7-year age gap, aka that's my baby. Mm-hmm. That's important later. As a fellow Taylor, I have never met another Taylor with the ER or even the AR. It's always the OR.
Yep.
Okay, story time. But also bear with me on exact timelines, details, rambling, grammar, etc. because mama 3 and almost certain undiagnosed ADHD. My parents divorced when I was 6 and my little sister was born soon after. Thus the 7-year age gap, leaving my mom a single mom of 2 girls in the mid-90s. After about a year, my hardworking, badass mama was able to purchase her very own house for the 3 of us to make a home. It wasn't crazy old, built in the 60s or 70s, and we moved in around the late 90s, like 96 or 97. It was dated, but very well maintained, and my mama is a, quote, I can do it without a man's help type of girl, so she wasn't scared of a project or two. The way our house was set up, our hallway was an L shape. My room was the first room at the start of the hallway, my baby sister's room in the middle, and my mom's room at the end of the hallway. I was 9 at the first time I had an experience with the little girl who lives in our hallway. I was sleeping in my bed, my sister in her toddler bed, and my mom asleep in her bed. We all always slept with our bedroom door open. I was woken up to a very urgent sissy.
Oh, God.
Instant panic because that's what my baby sister called me and still does to this day. However, when I woke up, no one was in my room and my door was shut. I tried like hell to go back to sleep and convince myself I was dreaming, but I wasn't even fully asleep before I heard the sissy again. So I got up, walked slowly down the hallway to my sister's door. I'm salivating. And she was sound asleep in her toddler bed. Walked to my mama's room and she was sleeping too. In complete shock, I walked back to my room, propped my door open, and laid awake for the rest of the night. From then on, little moments like that kept occurring. My mom, being the only parent in the house, always played it cool, but she's since told us there were several nights where she would hear her playing in the hallway, just lay awake all night long in her bedroom and watch our cat on high alert at the foot of her bed.
Mom.
But she never saw anything.
What a good mom, but my God, she's stronger than me.
Yeah, the only man she's ever made herself known to is my uncle, who is Native American. He could feel her, and she did not want him or any man there. Given the fact that he was helping my mom replace a light fixture in our hallway, he calmly said to her, I mean no harm to these girls. They are my family. I will finish this repair, and I will leave. My uncle is one of the most gentle, kind-hearted souls I've ever met. From then on, anytime my uncle came to our house, he never went down the hallway. He said she does not like men and that the hallway belongs to her. Fast forward to 2020. Yuck, I know, but that was the biggest moment I've had with her yet. Spring of 2020, my 3rd baby was born and had to go straight to the NICU in the middle of COVID. He spent a month there, and when he got out, we spent a month quarantined at home to protect his lungs as long as possible. So when we finally started venturing out, it was summertime, and we went to my mama's house for Sunday dinner with the kids. Everyone was out on the back porch watching the kids play, and I went in to go to the bathroom, which is in her hallway. As I was coming out of the bathroom, I looked up, and clear as day, she was standing in the hallway in front of me, smiling.
Oh.
She was there and gone in a flash, but she's burned into my brain forever. She looked to be about 10 to 12 years old, brown hair and ringlets, and dressed in a black dress from the 1800s, Victorian era, maybe. We've never actually looked into her, the house history, or tried to make her leave. She's never done us any harm, and she doesn't leave her hallway. We've never had any bad vibes with her. The only negative experience is what my uncle has had with her, and that's it.
She's not fucking men.
Sorry it's so long. I've been holding out on writing it since forever. If it makes it to the air, feel free to cut, edit, whatever. Love you girls to pieces. Keep up the hard work. Appreciate all that you do for CNC. Taylor.
Love you, Taylor.
Well, I know you say you didn't have any bad vibes, but like the sissy was like almost mimicky.
Yeah, well, it feels like to me like she has heard your little sister calling you sissy, and so she was like, I wonder if she'd respond to me
saying it. Yeah, maybe
because maybe she just wants like an older sister. Maybe she had an older sister. Please send me the address.
Yeah. If you don't want to look into it, we will.
Let me look into it.
In a non-creepy way, send us your Addy.
Right. I would like to look it up and see.
I actually probably have it if you are a Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Wait. And Taylor, when I read your name, I was like, Taylor, you've been here for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when I saw your last name, because I think that's like, me and you've had a conversation about Taylar before, but like, you've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
I love you.
Thanks for
being
sticking
here.
around.
And
we
thanks
love
for
ya.
sending your story. We love ya. The next one we have is from AJ using she, her pronouns. And the title is D words in the closet, ghost in my desk, and piddling pigeons, oh my.
Diddling.
Diddling pigeons, oh my.
And piddling pigeons, oh my. Hey, AJ.
Hey, besties. I hope you're doing well in this new year. We're doing great. We're doing great, I say with one eye that won't open all the way. Found you guys in April/May listening at work, quickly became addicted, and recently had to upgrade to big money ballin' bitches because I ran out of episodes and I cannot work without you guys in my ear. Love that, AJ. Love you. I just wanted to say thank you for being the sisters and friends I have needed in this time, especially with my BF temporarily boyfriend. I don't know why I said
Or
BF.
best friend.
Or best friend. Well, BSF is best friend.
Oh, you're really with the slang.
You know, I'm with the youths. The youths.
You really are.
These days, allegedly.
You know what I saw? RQ.
What is that?
Real quick.
Get out of here. Just
I
type
saw that
out.
today on TikTok. I'm like, RQ, real quick.
No.
Yeah. Well, let's just do this episode RQ. I'm going to start saying
EOD.
EOD.
We need to get this done RQ before EOD.
Yeah. That's actually the emails we get in our inbox every day.
No. And it gives me PTSD. Okay. Especially with my boyfriend temporarily moving across the country for a job opportunity that will hopefully get us a house. I have been needing my girls to help me fill the void while I'm crocheting. Email me if you want anything made for you. Thought about sending some beanies with this cold weather. Let me know colors and sizing.
Ooh.
I want something. I don't know what I want, but I want something.
No, I want something. It's a big ass.
What do you want? You want a blanket?
I do want a blanket.
Make us a studio blanket.
Big knit blanket, baby.
Oh my God.
I'll send you money for the product.
No, truly. I really would. If you would make us ones that match the studio.
Yeah. This checker.
Let's see. If you're that like skilled in it, can we get this checker and then like, this is a lot to ask. Oh, like in these colors and then a white C and C.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay.
Meanwhile, she's just like, I can do a beanie. We're like, we want these checkered blankets, big net only.
We just need one.
With white C's. We need two.
We don't need two. I'm only sweating up here always.
Open an Etsy shop. We'll order it.
Yeah, no, truly. No, truly. We really will pay you for it because I would like it. Just to see how crazy you're feeling about it.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. If you're feeling wild, hit us up. Okay. Don't know where I'm at. Email me. All right. So she gave us an inch. We took a mile. You know?
Right, yeah, we really.
You can't give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, no, you can't. Not these mouses.
Not these mice.
They turn into rats.
Yeah, real quick. New York City rats.
The ones at Applebee's.
Exactly. The ones at Applebee's. Looping it back to the intro. Apologies in advance because these are going to be wicked long. Anyways, back to the good stuff. D word in the closet. I love the titles. Growing up, there have been 2 instances where there were possible D words in the closet. These incidents occurred about 3 to 4 years from each other. To the people I have held closest to me, my older sister and my childhood best friend. My sister, let's call her Clara, is 5 years older than me. We have different fathers, so our upbringings are starkly different in a very negative way. We'll get into this later. At a young age, Clara began exhibiting major behavioral changes. She would throw things to hurt others and consistently place herself in dangerous situations, not only hurting herself, but also me, although I was 3 years old. Constantly, she was sick, regularly woken up with scratches and bruises. As time progressed, my mom began hosting weekly Bible studies at our house, and slowly things began to get better. During one of these Bible studies, one of the ladies ventured away from the group and headed up to Clara's room. After about 10 to 15 minutes, a woman saunters back down the stairs, proclaiming, quote, "The thing in the closet is gone, but she needs to keep the Lord in mind."
Is that a drill?
No, it's the handheld vacuum my mom got him.
Just a little bit of light housework.
Sounds like a fucking...
drill.
No, Dyson.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Dyson wrap. Girl.
Bitch,
If I went downstairs and he had me a Dyson, woo, we had a good night.
That's a lot of praise right there.
Yeah, I'd be giving a lot of praise. I'd be getting a lot of praise.
I have dog hair in my mouth. I can't. Carry on.
This is the most chaotic episode, and I think I'm going to leave a lot of it in because you guys deserve to hear us.
Yeah.
You deserve to hear us. The OGs, the people that actually care about us will love it because they're on Patreon. This is how we are all the time over there. Patreon.com/creeps and crimes if you want some more psychotic shit. If this is your first episode, I'm so fucking sorry. And to be honest, AJ, you didn't deserve this. You walked into something.
Oh yeah, sorry AJ, I forgot
we're in the center of your
story.
fucking story, and it's really like intense. We're talking about like, you know.
All right.
AJ, I really am sorry, and we're gonna look. Me.
Focus on AJ. D in
There
the
we
closet.
go. AJ, this is about you right now, and I promise we're gonna fix it. Okay. So, woman from the Bible study, she goes upstairs. She says the thing in the closet's gone, but she's got to keep the Lord in mind. And we said, and all God's people said, Amen.
Amen.
So the second instance occurred with my childhood best friend. Let's call her Rachel. This is a story that has never graced me with the peace of closure. I love how you write, bitch.
That was a beautiful sentence.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sentence.
Even though that was like a terrible sentence.
Yeah, it's like a really upsetting sentence, but the way that I would never have worded it like this. I'm like, this shit bothered me for a long time.
Yeah.
And
like,
you said,
totally.
You said, like, so bad. Like, so bad.
Like, totally. Yeah.
But you said,
that's what we would
this
say.
is a story that has never graced me with the peace of closure.
It's beautiful.
Fucking
like Edgar Allan Poe up in here.
Hemingway.
Yeah.
Six-toed cats type shit. All right. Rachel and I met in the first grade and had a rocky friendship up until after we graduated high school. She didn't have the best home life and the energy was always a little discomforting. You never knew when one parent would fly off the handle. I totally understand going to friends' houses like that, like 100%. I began to notice that every time I would stay the night in the upstairs area of the home, I was having horrific dreams, almost as if I had fallen asleep after watching a scary film, although I had not. I would constantly wake up in a fit of terror with the unshakable feeling that someone had been watching us. As this progressed, we eventually had to stop sleeping upstairs. Around 5th or 6th grade, Rachel took a bad turn mentally and was having a hard time getting along with others. We were fighting constantly, and every time I went over to her house, I would come out of her house with a headache, bruises, scratches, and hives.
Oh my God.
As time went on, we bobbed in and out of friendship. But every time I went over to her house, I knew that something was in that closet. And I knew that it had hated me since I was 7 years old. At the age of 19, in an attempt to rekindle our friendship, I went to her house one last time. We fought the entire time, and unfortunately, I have never forgiven her for trying to physically harm me.
Wow.
Luckily, I was able to use the extra couple of inches of my height as an advantage, getting control of the situation. I was able to stop her from hurting me while simultaneously not hurting her either. I will never forget the feeling as I looked at her in the midst of our combat, locking in on the two red eyes staring back at me from the shadowy closet with two lights pointed at it.
Oh my God. I claim no negative energy from this. I'm sick.
My tears are welling up in my eyes. If that, because of my shit reading, didn't land, I'll read it one more time, but this highest and best love and light only. I will never forget the feeling as I looked over her in the midst of our combat, locking in on the two red eyes staring back at me from the shadowy closet with two lights pointed at it. I left and never looked back. I pray for her a lot. I hope she is safe and clean now.
Fortunately, I don't think that was her fighting you.
No, that she had something attached to her.
Yeah.
100%. And there's nothing that you could have done about it. You know, there's nothing at all. And what you did was the best thing that you could do. I'm going to talk about each of these stories as we end them.
Distance yourself.
You distance yourself.
You tried to rekindle.
Exactly.
You put your foot out there.
100%.
And unfortunately, the situation was out of our realm.
Right. And I feel like, what was going on at your house with your sister, it's like it couldn't get to you. And I don't necessarily know or think if it's the same thing that went from her house to your house, but it's like maybe something at Clara's dad's house or like whoever she was spending her time with.
Well, and also you've been friends with
Rachel
since you were 7 years old. So, I mean, it very well could have popped back and forth.
Right.
Like
it could have, because it would want to have attached to you. You're gifted. Me and Susan over here. Moving on to the next story. Ghost in the desk? ? In my childhood years, my mom worked for a powerful man at a small company. This man had a miserable reputation and was always sporadic with his mood. One day, despite his arrogant attitude, he gifted my mother a solid wooden desk. Holy shit.
I know that bitch was heavy.
A fucking nice gift. Oh my God. Originally, my mother had positioned the desk in Clara's room. However, when Clara moved out of the house, the desk was then relocated into my room. Okay, so maybe it's the desk. To set the framework of this story, it is important to note that I come from a very military-influenced family. I am properly trained with most long-range rifles and have gone through intensive CCW firearm training since I was about 9 or 10. For years, I kept my pistol tucked away in a gun safe, situated in the top compartment of the desk. Fortunately, I have never had to use it as a defense mechanism. Unfortunately, as people do, I have also gone through periods where my brain is muddled with dark thoughts about my own life. Trigger warning. This is something I receive routine therapy for, and I routinely utilize helpful sources of redirection for these moments in my life. To clarify, a firearm will never be the way I go out and has never ever been a thought of application for me. However, within the past 4 years, almost every time I am spiraling down that dark thought process, that wooden cabinet door somehow cracks open on its own.
Okay. Actually, maybe you do have something.
Maybe there's something that's,
with you.
Yeah. I have changed its location in the desk, switched the entire safe, and even changed the magnets on the desk itself. None of these things have stopped the gun from making itself readily available during my dark mental trials. The only sufficient remedy is removing the firearm from the room completely. But even if the pistol is not present, a different object will fall or shake. Not to the point where I give it attention, but enough that my sweet baby pity/lab mix, boss dog, will look at me dead in the face as if to say, bitch, did you not just fucking see that? Oh,
Yeah, holy crap.
my fuck. You need to call Susan. I'm not even joking. You need to call Susan. We have a code coming up. It'll be released in the next episode. I'll literally tell her, if you want, email me. If you want to book an appointment with her, I'll tell her to let you specifically go ahead with the code and book it, because you need to have your shit cleansed.
Yeah. And also, AJ, we are so happy that we still have you here.
No, truly. And it could be adding on to the thoughts that are already in there, because anybody and everybody can have those thoughts, and I don't ever want to say that only people that are like have something near them experience those. That it's very common. Like, we've experienced situations and times in our lives like that, and I feel like everyone can relate to that. However, when there is something that wants to encourage it, that can be just as detrimental, because we have no idea what else it isn't doing that we physically can't see. Mm-hmm. So we need to get this taken care of. Okay. We're so happy you're here. And thank you for being so like real about that. That I'm sure people are very grateful hearing this. Like, okay, I'm not alone in this. Okay. Now this is not the last story. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay. Now we have the diddler. Now we can find, what did I say?
No, it's diddler.
Oh, okay.
I'm just making fun of you.
I'm like, bitch, I just know why I said that.
I was giving you a hard time.
Now we can finally circle back to Clara's unhinged father. I told you that we'd get to it later. Every interaction with her dad, we'll call him Brian, has an underlying theme of blatant lies or strategic manipulation. When my sister was born, Brian confidently denied that Clara was his child and adamantly refused to financially support her. He openly blamed Clara's birth on my mother's, quote, whoring around. He defended this idea for about 3 years until my father finally came into the picture. My father immediately and openly accepted Clara as his own, to the point where she began asking if he was her real dad. To her, quote, dad was just another man that she never got to know. Eventually, the inevitable legal battle began, in which Clara's father was fighting our mom for custody. How fucking funny is that?
I would have been like, oh, that's so silly. Sorry. Actually, I was just whoring around.
Yeah, don't you remember? I was just whoring around. That's so fucking crazy. During this time, my parents got married and my dad dissolved his own company to get a job with insurance to help their plight in custody. Simultaneously, Brian begins to attempt to paint my father in a new light, and not a good one. Fuck Brian. I'm so mad about him. Like, your dad literally is doing everything he can for a kid that he didn't even fucking want to claim as his. And now he wants to fucking come in here. Like, he's literally dissolving his company, getting a job that has insurance, so that way he can go and be like, hey, we're good. We can raise this baby. We're the only one that can raise this child. Period. So Brian attempts to paint my father in a new light, and not a good one. Brian creates a website specifically to defame my father as ... Be ready for it. A pigeon fondler.
What the fuck?
Call the police. I'm sorry. Where the fuck did he get this idea? Yes, you read that right, ladies. Countless written entries, blog style, depicting an innocent man sexually defiling domesticated city birds. That muttonhead presented his case to the courts just to be publicly humiliated in finding out that IP addresses are a solid form of evidence, and one that he had not been prepared for. That's when this dunderheaded is you British?
It has to be.
Yeah, I've never heard these words in my life. And your writing is so fucking good. Either that or you're an author. Because I literally, dunderheaded muttonhead.
It sounds like, yeah, definitely.
Okay,
It's got UK on it.
It does. Man was informed that the legal system is able to connect your legal name and the location to your IP address from which these, quote, pigeon diddling blogs were written. Not to mention, we didn't even have a computer in our house at the time. Brian has plenty of outrageous stories I could tell, such as physically throwing the child support payments at my mom in pennies while standing in the parking lot of Clara's dance recital, or flirting with a female cop called to supervise the pickups while stating that he was quote, going to beat that man up for being a pussy, end quote. This one, however, is definitely the most bizarre, even for him. Sorry that this was so long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Pics attached of Bossy. Love y'all. Stay creepy and hopefully no crimey. AJ, you're writing fucking phenomenal.
AJ, where are you from?
I love you. I love you so much. She's new. Like, she's new here.
Bossy, love.
So cute. Laying down on the bed sideways
so
like that.
sweetie.
I want to kiss your fucking face.
Sweetie pie.
Yeah. Wow. Pigeon. Hey, thanks for ending on that, because what a fucking trip that was.
Yeah,
Psychopath.
AJ.
I'm sorry you had to deal with all this.
Yeah, you need to call Susan.
Yeah, you definitely need to call Susan, even if it's just for like a let's
debrief.
It's low key like a spiritual
Cleanse.
therapy session, just in a conversation with Susan. And she's been through it and seen it all herself, so she is ready and willing at any and all times to have those conversations. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, DM me or email us back on this thread, and we will. If you want to have a meeting with Susan, a reminder, she can do calls, she can do FaceTime, she can do Zoom, she can do Google Meets, whatever you want to do. We will have her go ahead and state that for you, because I just don't want this to go on any further and like possibly escalate if possible. Love you, AJ. Thanks for that.
Thank you, AJ.
And thanks for like just recently finding us.
I know, I love that.
You're freaking cute for that.
The next one we have is from Tara, using she, her pronouns. Title is Dream Monster Chasing Me.
Oh, hell no.
Been there. I can't wait for this. Hello there. My name is Tara, or Tara, 25 female. You can use my name if you like. I love your podcast and I'm a longtime listener. The story I'm submitting to you is a dream I once had that was so strong and so terrifying that I just had to write it down. I woke up with a scream and could not get it out of my head until I wrote down all of the details. It is lengthy, so I apologize for the long, creepy account, but I think it might be worth it. This is what I wrote.
Tara, you're so cute. Yours is the shortest.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. I had the weirdest dream last night that was honestly terrifying. I was at work, or at least the dream me knew it as work, but it was definitely not my desk. I had a tiny cubicle that had enough space for a tiny desk and a small chair. Also, the dream me knew that the workplace was a biochemical facility. I remember wearing a white coat that was long and went almost to my knees. I had sat down to work and suddenly there were sirens everywhere and everyone in the office scrambled. It was odd because each face of the office workers that ran past me in my dream matched all of those who work in my office in real life. Over the intercom, there was a voice that said, containment breach, over and over again. I remember the feeling of being hunted, and I dove under my desk after I grabbed a report of some kind. Apparently, the report had some sensitive information on it, but I have no clue what was so important about the report. That always happens in dreams.
I know.
Grab the one thing that if someone's chasing you, you get the one thing that they need.
And while you're running and fighting for your life, you have no fucking idea what it says.
Yeah, and you're also moving like a slug.
And you're running through quicksand. You know?
I sat as silent as I could, wrapped in a ball under my desk, hoping that whatever breached containment didn't find me. I had heard the creature before I saw it. It could talk, and it sounded vaguely like Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. I can't remember what it said, but I remember that it chilled me to the bone. After the monster had passed my cubicle, I found a brief moment to run and get as far away from my office as I could. And then I saw it. It looked like a massacred combination of bodies all writhing and twisted together, legs and arms flailing to no end with one central head that had very long pointed teeth. The creature had no eyes, but rather two long slits where a nose should be.
Voldemort.
Throughout the torso of the creature, there were several other faces, expressions contorted in pain and agony. The creature had exposed muscle all over its mangled body and was dripping blood with each movement. Ugh. It howled like a deranged dog or something that wished it was dead but could not die. It didn't take me long to realize that the creature that had broken containment absorbed my fellow office workers and used their body mass to add to its own. It still walked on two legs when it found me, but the legs were as thick as old tree trunks. And also contained the faces of those it had absorbed. I ran, clutching the report to my chest as I ran.
You just giving your life for this job report.
Yeah. and I believe it called my name.
Oh.
For something so big, it was frighteningly fast. It almost caught up with me and used the intestines of the bodies it absorbed as kind of a lasso. It flung the lasso over my head as I was running and grabbed a hold of my ankle. I fell on my face and split my lip doing so. It was pulling me toward it. I miraculously had a letter opener on me that was sharp, and I cut through the intestine, holding my ankle, and ran once more. I found myself in a parking lot. The lot itself looked a lot like the parking lot from Resident Evil 2, the remastered version. The creature had managed to grab me once again, this time not with intestines, but with one thick, meaty hand that seemed to spring forward from the center of the monster's chest. It held me by my neck and lifted me in the air, and then I woke up, out of fear, in the feeling that I couldn't breathe. I looked at the clock, and it said 3:17 a.m., and then I went back to sleep. This time, the sleep was dreamless. I hope you enjoyed my terrifying dream. Love you both. I don't have a Patreon. Hopefully I don't miss creepy account right on your podcast. Thanks, Tara.
Tara, what the fuck? Hey, I have to tell you
Tara,
this.
do you play Resident Evil? That's a game, right?
I have no idea
I
what
think it's a video game.
I have no idea what it is, but I'm here for you. I'm here for this. But let me tell you this. When I read your email and I was like going through it and, you know, picking the creepy accounts, all I could think about, and Morgan, I think it was my dream a long time, like when we were 22.
I remember something about faces and bodies, if that's where you're going.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Do you remember that? It was around that time. And the only reason I remember it being like that is because Nikki was sitting on the daybed and I was telling her about this dream and I was writing it down so I wouldn't forget to be able to talk about it in the episode. I should go back and find it. But it was a dream that either I had or maybe it was that Nikki had or you had, but I think it was me. And I was at Cherokee Farms. I was in there doing something. And there was an alarm that went off and I was running out and there was like stuff coming out of me, like bugs, like coming out of my skin. Do you remember this?
Kind of.
It was so long ago. And the details about the alarm and like your coworkers being people, that was literally the same as my dream, but there wasn't a monster in my dream. It was like I was getting a treatment for something and the treatment that they gave me was a test. And they lied to me about what was in it, and then it was like coming out, and someone that we know, and I was like oozing, like bugs were coming out of all of parts of me. Ugh.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have the freakiest dream tonight. I just know it.
No, Tara, I'm telling you, when I was reading that, I was literally like getting sick. That's why I had to give it to Morgan because typically I would take the shortest ones, but if I was listening, if I was the one making it, I'm giving myself the shortest ones because bitch can't read.
Me neither today.
Ask MB about it. Patreon gets it. Thank you so much, Tara.
Yeah, thank you, Tara.
And I love the way that you record your dreams.
Yes,
like that was from like your like notes app.
Remember when we went through that period of time where we were like, we're gonna
meet each other in a dream. Fuck us, we're never gonna do it.
We don't have enough time.
You're
at
in
night.
my dreams often, but like
yeah, you're mine too.
But I like wake up in the middle of the night. Like I don't wake up like when I have those dreams. I wake up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, I'm not writing that down.
Yeah.
I'm not texting her about that. It's 3 a.m. Okay. The next one we have is from Jamie using she, her pronouns.
But you were just in my dream the other day.
What
I
did I
texted
do?
you about it. We were at the movie theater.
Oh, I remember. And that was hateful that you sent that to me.
And it was like we were like laying down. Like they were like full recliners.
So I'll fucking take
and
that.
This creepy fucking guy that we know was in the theater with us. And we were like rotating. For some reason, I don't know if someone brought him or like why he had to sit with us, but he did. And we were like rotating like who had to sit by the creepy man because he like kept trying to fondle us underneath like
this
the
guy's
blankets. We were like I'm like, no, I'm done. Taylor, it's your turn. I'm done. And like Taylor would have to go lay there and be fondled, and then I'd make another friend go be fondled. And then at one point,
but like, if that happened in reality, we would beat his ass up.
And at one point, someone was up in like the AC room or whatever it's called, the TV room,
like the control room.
The control room, fucking having like full sex, like just up against the mirror. And then there was a little like the front bed. So like these were beds that like rose up. The front bed was like a giant hospital bed. And like we like loaded like all of these kids up in it. And then we like rose it up like
the door from Mike Wazowski or
no, like like the lifts, like construction lifts.
Like at Home Depot.
And it would just like rise up and it had like this big mattress and all the kids were up there and all the parents were like laying down and watch.
That's so dangerous.
Guys, I don't know what the fuck my dream was about.
You're having crazy dreams.
Had to have been after baby girl.
Had to have been after baby.
Actually, that was
Grady
like
girl.
It was like a month after, or not a month, a week after.
Like a week after. Yeah. It was definitely though soon after we talked about it in the episode.
That's true.
And we got that viral reel.
Don't remind me.
I'm gonna start doing that at the beginning of every reel.
Yeah.
It'll get me 150,000 views. I'll fucking do it. Are you kidding me? I don't have to show my titties. All I have to do is make the sounds. You fucking creeps.
It jump scared even me, guys.
Yeah. It jump scared me when I decided to do it. And I was like, heh, heh, heh.
I was like, I didn't even get a warning.
No.
Hey, I'm going to post you mocking sex sounds on it. It just was there on my phone. I was like,
Yeah, literally.
oh, well, it's got good traction.
Yeah, she wasn't wrong about it. I made that perfect loop too. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
never make
great.
a good perfect loop. Okay, so the next creepy account we have is from Jamie using she, her pronouns. And the title is Saw My Husband's Doppelganger After Visiting the Wonder House. What the fuck? This is, I think, is another short one.
Wait, Wonder House, like Gatlinburg?
No. No, like the real haunted Wonder House in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've never covered it.
No, I haven't. I didn't even know that was a
We
thing.
need to do that soon. Okay, so my name is Jamie. You can use my name. I'm from a small country town in Florida called Mulberry. And for anyone that's curious, just like me, because I recognize the name, it's just south of Lakeland, Florida, and Polk County, Florida. And I got to let you know, that's literally where my grandpa lived.
And that's also right by Mitchell and Sarah.
Yeah. Okay, so something weird as hell happened to me this morning. And this is in real time live reporting.
Oh, I love this.
Something weird as hell happened to me this morning. I'm hoping that y'all can help me make sense of it. I was dead asleep this morning and suddenly awaken at 5:50 a.m. by that, quote, someone is watching you feeling. Ooh. When I opened my eyes, I saw my husband. He was staring at me at the end of the bed.
Oh my God.
I could see him clearly. He was wearing a gray t-shirt and jeans. He was just glaring at me and messing with the sleeves on his t-shirt. I was literally about to say, dude, why the fuck are you staring at me like that, you creeper? And then he disappeared. I suddenly got full body chills with my heart racing. My real life husband wasn't even home.
Oh my God.
He left for work 30 minutes before I saw his doppelganger / mimic, or whatever the hell it was. I sent him a text and I asked him if he was wearing a gray t-shirt today, and he replied, yes.
Man.
Yeah, I am. Do you like my outfit? Did you see me when I was walking out the door? He's wearing the same exact outfit I literally saw on the apparition. What the fuck? What does this mean? I recently visited the Wonder House this past Sunday. Y'all should do an episode on this amazing house. It has a history of hauntings and was on Netflix. Amazing Interiors, episode 9, House of Oddities. Do y'all think something followed me home? I've been told that I have a gift of some sort and I'm very open to spirits. I've never experienced this though. Please help. My ass is fixing to call Susan. LOL. I love how you said fixing to. That is so like very Southern. My ass is fixing to call Susan. Love you girls, Jamie. P.S. Attached are some pictures of my sister and I at the Wonder House. I've been there 3 times for their Halloween Christmas tours. Awesome house. And a picture of my tabby cat, Batman, because I know y'all love that shit. And I love the fact that he's on top of the fucking water heater.
Oh,
Like,
Batman.
What a little fucking turd. I love him. He's so cute.
Oh,
Okay.
I wish I knew more about the Wonder House so I could give you like some real like insight.
Okay, but let's do what we know about. So what we know about is that you essentially saw like a residual energy left of your husband doing that. So was he staying there looking at you?
Yeah, did you ask him like, hey, before you left, did you stand at the end of my bed and just like, look how beautiful I am when I'm sleeping?
Right, because
and not like
maybe-
in a creepy way.
Yeah, or maybe he was just staying there like, you know when you're like putting on a shirt or like fixing something on your shirt, because you said he was like fiddling with his sleeve. You know when you're buttoning, here's a perfect example. When you're buttoning up a shirt, you kind of like disassociate in that time. And you're just, because it's so mundane. It's something that's like just, it's kind of like tying your shoe. It's like, fuck, I've done this since I was 5. Like, all right. I mean, you're sitting there buttoning up your shirt, you kind of like look off into space, or like you're looking at yourself in the mirror. So if he was, you know, fixing that sleeve when he was standing at the end of the bed, he could have just been like mindlessly looking at you, and that residual energy was still there when you woke up.
I don't think it's a mimic because there was no voice.
Yeah, there was no voice. And a doppelganger typically wouldn't disappear right in front of you. It would just like walk past, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
you'd be
what
like,
the
Brian, where are you going?
Yeah.
You're late for work, bitch. Like, that's how
I
a
do think you're
doppelganger
right with
would
the
go about.
residual energy.
Like, it has to be just like some, like he was disassociating, and maybe this man like has this like energy, like he's spiritually gifted, or maybe he just has like a super high energy, mindlessly doing something, and like left that energy there when he was mindlessly doing it.
Yeah.
And so you felt like someone was watching you, but in reality, he's just kind of like, you know, disassociating, staring off in the space in your direction because he's standing at the end of the bed, and that's what he was doing.
Yeah, or he's like really gifted and you have no idea, and he's just astral projecting over to you while being awake.
Right.
You're like, hey, bitch.
No, literally.
Did your husband go with you to the house?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you said pictures of you and your sister. So
That's interesting.
the next one we have is from Gracie using she, her pronouns. Title is Please Read Me. I'm hopefully interesting. Hello, girlies. My name is Gracie, she, her. Feel free to use those. I'm not the best at writing, but I wanted to tell you guys 2 of my creepiest creeps. I would say I wish I had a crime to share, but I feel like that's kind of weird to wish for, right?
Gracie.
Anyways, I started your podcast about 2 years ago and I binged right away. It was one of the things that got me through my deployment, so thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for your service. It truly felt like I was sitting and chatting with close friends, and I love you guys. Hopefully, these stories aren't too long, and I hope they make the cut. Stay creepy.
Gracie, love you.
Creep number 1. I've
it.
always felt a pull toward the weird and unnatural. Being spiritually in touch runs on my mom's side of the family. The first story is my mom's, and it's from when I was about 3 or 4 years old. We lived in a big white house in town. The layout of the house is a little important to the story. My little sister and I shared a big bedroom at the top of the stairs, and my brother had his own room directly across from ours on the left side of the hall. The living room was right underneath my brother's room, and one night, my mom and us kids were home alone. After she put us to bed, she decided to watch TV in the living room for a while. Everything was normal until she heard intense banging coming from upstairs, children's voices, and the ceiling fan above her started to shake back and forth. She got upset thinking we were running around and playing when we were supposed to be asleep. Being the mom she was, she started to head upstairs to yell at us, understandably.
100%.
When she got to the top of the stairs, she saw a little girl that looked just like me run across the hall from our room to my brother's. Even more annoyed at the audacity to be playing right in front of her rather than asleep, she stormed into the room only to find my brother sleeping peacefully and all alone in the room. Confused, she peeked her head into our room, only to find the same thing. My sister and I were both tucked in bed and asleep. Mom got terrified and ran out of the house, calling her friend right away. See you, kids.
Gotta go.
Never wake a sleeping child.
Literally.
She always says she feels bad for just leaving us in there whenever she tells a story, and I certainly don't blame her for doing so.
No, I would have done the same thing.
Depending on the day, I would have either ran out like the little bitch I am, or B, not give a fuck and tell it not tonight.
Right.
This wasn't the only instance we'd experienced with the little girl. My mom would hear her voice all the time, whereas my sister and I vividly remember playing with her during the night. Our toys would be scattered when we'd wake up, even though they were put away before bed. I never felt like I was truly alone, even as a little girl. I remember feeling scared and playing with her, but the memory is extremely hazy, considering I was just a wee little thing. I wish I had remembered the address so I could have looked more into the history behind this house and that little girl. Years later, Mom told us about the neighbors that had very similar experiences with this little girl in their house. Our houses were only guesstimating 10 feet apart.
Okay, yeah.
Whoever she is, I hope she finds peace and doesn't get too upset over the carpet stain behind our bedroom door from when my sister had to poop. I love
so
that.
fucking good.
Oh, wait, that's crazy though, that your mom literally saw your doppelganger.
No, right.
Speaking of doppelganger.
Right. And the fact that this girl's like going between the houses.
Yeah, she's just having fun.
She's truly just
That's
there for
her
a good time.
street,
Yeah,
bitch.
like she's been running that street for a long time.
My second story was from last year. I'd moved back in with my parents for a little while after deployment so I could get my footing. I worked night shift at the time, but I had a random day off where I actually got to sleep through the night rather than during the day. The night was pretty much normal. I doom scrolled over on my phone for a bit, filled my water, and eventually fell asleep. Suddenly, I was dreaming, and it felt incredibly real. In my dream state, my emotions were incredibly heightened. I walked downstairs to see my mom crying. "What's wrong?" I asked. She didn't answer. I had this nagging, pulling feeling to walk across the house into the room where my dad was asleep. Not even taking a step into the room, I knew he had a heart attack and was dead. I screamed and collapsed on the floor, feeling my heart tear apart. My dad, actually my stepdad, and I were super close even though I'd only known him for a couple of years. He was more of a father to me in those short years than my bio dad ever was. We had such a strong connection, so feeling this much dread in my dream really startled me. I woke up in a puddle of my own sweat around 3 a.m. I went back to sleep and didn't have any more dreams that night. When morning came around, I got ready to go spend the weekend doing army things, and before leaving, I had a conversation with Dad reminiscing on chasing tornadoes while eating bowls of cereal. It's one of our things. I gave them hugs and went about my day. I couldn't shake the horrible thoughts and feelings of my dad dying. The end of the day was coming, and I had plans to go to dinner with some army friends. I had time to kill, so I went to my sister's apartment to hang out. All of a sudden, my phone started to ring. I know where this is going.
No.
It's my mom, but it's a regular phone call, which is weird. She usually just FaceTimes me. I answer it. "Hello?" That's when I hear my mom. She's sobbing and hysterical. He isn't waking up. Mom spent what felt like hours doing CPR until help arrived in the extremely rural area. They continued CPR until they just couldn't anymore. It took a while for the official autopsy report to come back, but once it did, my heart dropped. My dad passed away October 15th, 2023 from a heart attack in his sleep.
I'm so sorry.
Did I have a premonition? I was thoroughly freaked out and felt so guilty. That same night, my siblings, grandma, and mom and I all slept in the living room, so none of us were alone. It took a while to fall asleep, but when I did, I dreamt of him. We were standing in the kitchen where we had our tornado chasing conversation earlier in the day. I was crying, asking why he had to go and if we could trade places. And he said it was his time to go. You will be okay. I woke up and immediately felt a sense of relief. Minimal, but it was still there, as if I really did just see my dad. In the morning, Mom said she couldn't sleep at all, but while we all slept, she noticed something that was also comforting to her. We had the TV on, I think playing HGTV for the distraction, and all of a sudden the channel turns to MASH, which my dad loved to watch, especially leading up to his passing. I like to think that this situation and speaking to him in my dream was his way of telling us that he's still here. Since he's been gone, I've experienced a multitude of different things that make me say, "Hey Dad, thank you for visiting me." I felt him in the car with me while I commute, and on an especially difficult night of missing him, my tears abruptly came to a halt where I felt the side of my leg and my mattress weigh down as if he were sitting on the bed comforting me. My mom moved out of their dream house due to not being able to afford it without him anymore, and my one fear is that he's still in that house, but I try to think he's connected to my mom, and I give him my experiences since moving out. I hope he's at peace even though his passing was unexpected. And I hope you guys like these stories. I have many more to tell, but I thought 2 decently long ones were good enough of a start. Thank you for being you and getting me through some of the most difficult times of my life. Love you guys. Gracie. I don't cry over anything, guys. I even started getting choked up about Daddy.
Got me. Oh my God. No, he's not in the house at all. No.
Yeah,
no, absolutely not. And he was at peace when he passed away because his spirit came to you before and let you know, because that's how deep of the connection that you had with him. If you want to, you can go to Susan. I'm sure she'll tell you the exact same thing in much more great detail, with him telling you exactly where he's at and what he's doing. And he does come to you and he does sit on the side of the bed. And when he visits you in the dreams, he's there. And when he passes you with the bird or the sign on the side of the road
or MASH starts playing.
Or there's a trucker that drives by with like a certain number on it, that's him. He's there. He's with you all the time. He's not in that house. And he probably knew that she was signed off on her having to leave the house in order to make life financially easier on her, because he's just pure. He's just filled with love and loves his girls. And of course too, you had a brother, love him too. You have a brother, love him too. But I
also think he came to you the night before in your dream, and that's where you,
because he knew you weren't going to be there.
Well, and that's whenever you had your
I need to sit here
breakdown.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also,
I'm not saying
that
you didn't have that breakdown after, but you didn't mention it. But you were waking up, gasping for breath in a puddle of tears.
Right.
And then you had to go be there for your mom.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he knew it would hit you hard, and he knew that your mom needed support. And so,
of course,
he let you know prior to.
And also, not that you wouldn't have done it, but maybe you spent a little extra time that morning having that conversation about that. I'm going to fucking cry about
tornado chasing.
I know, about the tornado chasing. Just you just had a conversation that you've probably talked about a million times and heard the story for the 1500th time, but you just did it because you were like, oh my God, I love him so much, And you had that morning because he knew that you'd be strong and be able to help your mom through it, and you'd be the call that she'd make. So
love you.
Fucking
sorry for your loss.
Wrecked my heart. I'm so sorry for your loss. So good writing, though. And thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so the final one we have is from Corey using she, her pronouns. And the title is, switching gears real quick, Hat Man, sleep paralysis, and being a therapist. Hey, besties. My name is Corey, she, her pronouns. And yes, you can use my name. I have been working my way through the backlog after hearing the spooky anthology, the Halloween All-Star special and That's What We Drink on October 2024.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Thanks, Trevin and Amanda.
Corey,
For that.
You literally just made my whole fucking day. I'm good now. I'm healed. All of a sudden, I'm healed. Okay? I had a bad day before this? Absolutely not anymore. Yes, I started episode 1. Shrug. Y'all are super funny, and I even keep you playing while I'm falling asleep because the banter section is just enough to help with my ADHD brain letting go and relaxing so that I can fall asleep. And Corey, I see you, you see me. I'm writing this in because of the Creepy Accounts episode 202 and the therapist who wrote in about having the dreams about her client and the need for boundaries. Yes, I can relate. I've been a therapist for almost 10 years and in community mental health. I also have had wild dreams, sleep paralysis, night terrors, and deja vu since I was 7 years old. So I suppose that Susan would likely say that I'm, open. Love to I mean, you've been here for a short amount of time, and you know what's going on. Buckle up. I am going to explain my own journey of creepy dreams and the mantra that I have to help me manage my experiences.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Me too. Before I was 7, I would fight anyone who told me that you have to have dreams to stay alive. I would literally close my eyes. It was nothingness. And then I would wake up.
Who told you that?
At about 7, I had my 2 first vivid night terrors that I remember to this day, almost 30 years later. The first dream, I was in my early childhood home with my family, and I started to sense that vampires had started infiltrating my neighborhood, and no one would listen to me.
No, not Edward.
Then I saw a hot sauce packet from Taco Bell in the kitchen with a smiley face with fangs.
It's a trap.
I knew that the evil vampires had infiltrated and shapeshifted to trick my family. Dreams are so fun. I love dreams.
I love this.
I woke up, screamed, and ran to my parents' room. As my dad opened the packet, I laid down with my parents and immediately fell into a dream where I was at a zoo with dinosaurs and I was standing in front of the cage with the huge T-Rex while I slowly pulled my fingers off as if they were made of clay and fed them to the dinosaurs while sobbing hysterically. Jesus Christ. When I was 9, I had a dream that there was a man without a face standing in an unfamiliar classroom. He wore an intricately patterned red sweater vest. He was clearly upset and slapped a large yardstick against my desk as he spoke. Terrifying, terrifying.
That's scary.
3 years later, the dream occurred in the form of my 6th grade teacher. Same outfit, same classroom setting, everything. Huh?
Bitch, that's too advanced for us.
Colossus?
Colossid?
Okay.
Colossid?
Me thinking that says everything was the same. Everything was the same, and suddenly I had a face for the faceless guy in this dream. So I wonder if, you knew that this teacher, you were going to not like him.
Yeah, maybe.
Did he wear that red sweater in real life?
And also, were you in 6th grade at this time? Hello?
Weirdly enough, my mic just flew out of the hole that it sits in. Interesting. Okay. I was chronically tired, struggled with insomnia, and had a slew of tests as a kid because of my issues with my sleep. I would sleepwalk, I would sleep talk. I mean, going from no dreams to these crazy dreams, that is traumatizing.
Well, she was probably convincing herself, I'm never going to live if I don't dream. I'm not going to live if I, you know what I mean? So your mind was constantly running at night. You're never actually fully resting, which is why you're dreaming.
You're forcing yourself to
Whoever did that to you is fucked up.
So mean. The clay pulling up my fingers like they were clay and feeding them to the dinosaurs while I was hysterically crying. That's horrible. That's so sad. I was chronically tired. I struggled with insomnia, and I had a slew of tests as a kid because of my issues with sleep. I would sleepwalk. I would sleep talk. My brothers would try to instigate this if I ever was half asleep on the couch because they thought it was so funny. Hate brothers. I don't have a brother, but I hate them.
I hate brothers.
I hate them. They just seem like fucking terrors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they are.
I have a husband, and I feel like that's close enough. I would be so over it. Most of it was harmless. Most of it was harmless, random deja vu, and I often didn't recall my dreams in my adolescence. I did struggle to go to sleep on time and wake up on time, but I always chalked it up to ADHD and being a teenager. My dad died when I was 19 due to a ruptured aneurysm. I'm so sorry. He could have been saved if the doctor had followed protocol with dual blood pressure cuffs as the aneurysm was leaking quite slowly all day.
Oh my God.
But without intervention, It did rupture about 12 hours into the day, and he was gone. After he passed, I had ongoing, worsening insomnia. Duh, Corey wrote that, not me. This was where my sleep paralysis started. For a long time, it was mostly fine. I would have lucid dreams where I was aware of the sleep paralysis, like I'm talking in the dream, then suddenly I'm aware that my mouth isn't moving, and the dream becomes far more ominous as I fight to be able to actually move my body. In grad school, I started to see the Hat Man during my sleep paralysis. I was under immense stress in a new state and felt very alone in this time. Then one night, the Hat Man was inches from me. Oh God. Looming over me. A void-like shadow who looked like the silhouette of Dick Tracy. of Dick Tracy, including the fedora and turned up collar on a trench coat. This was unacceptable. I felt my heart rate shoot up and I reached next to me and I threw my shelf. I woke up because the cup of water that I had had on the nightstand splashed into my face. And then I had to figure out how to proceed with the lamp and my glasses that were on the floor in the dark. Horrid. You like so pull a Velma at that moment. My glasses. You're calling around on the ground. This was the first time I had the Hat Man come this close, but it wouldn't be the last. It wasn't the last time I chucked my nightstand over to get him to go. I mean, so smart. That you were like, all right, I can do this one. Even if I was wearing a sleep mask, I felt that I could see the Hat Man or other events occurring in my half-waking state. Somewhere along this whole timeline in the last 17 years, I was also visited by my dad twice. Aww. My dad was a big, goofy bear of a man. He was a jokester and a prankster, which was often a surprise because he was so quiet and reserved in public settings. I remember being in a haunted house as a child and begging the quote monster at the top of the slide not to stare at me. And he glanced up at my dad behind me, gulped, and agreed. But at home or with friends, my dad would vamp like the most flamboyant gay man, wrapped ribbons around his head, and made the worst dad jokes when I was determined to be in a bad mood. In the first dream, he came to me and I said, "Dad, what are you doing here? You died." And he told me this long, elaborate story about how he was secretly in the CIA and had really just faked the whole thing. The next time
I'm doing that.
I know, that is so iconic. The next time I dreamed that he came and explained this whole thing was a prank and that he was actually moving somewhere else in the world and I needed to go find him. He had his typical sparkle in his eye during both of these dreams and I knew that he was trying to reassure me. In the dreams, I felt immense relief that my dad was still out there, and it was bittersweet to wake up to the same reality where he was gone. I also have random night terrors that don't make a lot of sense. One of the most vivid ones, I was in a dark hallway. There was a wide opening leading to an open air space. It was a tall arched opening where I could see a large, extraordinarily bright moon and balcony surrounded by low railings. In front of me, I see the back of a woman in a satin nightgown, booking it towards that opening. I woke up screaming, no. I didn't need to do all that.
No.
Yeah, that would be. No.
It's so hard to do it on command.
It is. Like, it has to like come from like that urgency.
No.
I'm gonna piss my pants.
This is terrible. No, please.
That's not how you would say it if you saw someone running towards an open like jump off.
I don't know. Like, in dreams, I probably
no.
In dreams, it would be like this.
No, you're going underwater and like, where the fuck did this water come from? That's how my dream. You're like fucking swallowing water at this point.
Jeez, yeah, word.
Okay, so you're screaming no, and we won't try it again. All right. I still don't know why that came up. When this happens, it takes a long time I forget you're a fucking therapist. You're probably deeply analyzing this episode. I hate that yours had to be in this episode, Corey. I'm so fucking sorry.
Oh, yeah.
When this happens.
Actually, could we get on a call?
Do you have a second? Do you have a second to chat? When this happens, it takes a long time for my heart rate to get back to normal. That's how my dreams are. I wake up and I'm plagued by them. Even once waking up all the way and knowing that it was a dream. So back to therapist in episode 202. People often ask me how I am able to listen to the worst horrors of human experience day in and day out. I specialize in trauma work. This was the basis of my undergraduate and graduate work. I run comprehensive dialectic behavioral therapy programs which treats people with borderline personality disorder, intense folks who have been through a lot and are often, trigger warning, suicidal and self-harming, as well as having specialty training in CBT for psychosis. The thing I usually tell people when they know how intense, difficult, and traumatic this work must be is this: I am a filter, not a reservoir. I do not take on anything that someone gives me as my own. My job is to hold people and their experiences for the time that I am with them, but I always have to give it back to them before they leave. All of this is a long-winded way to say that while I am a skeptic, a scientist, and an agnostic, I also do believe in the law of conservation of energy. This states, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another.
Is that the third law?
I don't know.
Was that Newton's third law?
Is that if you throw the apple through the wall, like it can't stop?
Objects in motion stays in motion?
Yeah.
I think
That's numero uno. I'm pretty sure.
what's the I think that's the third
I think
law.
it might be. Anyways, this is what else it says. Okay. Really? Morgan just highlighted the sheet. You could have typed in what's Newton's third law of motion.
It's not it, but I thought it was a Newton law. It's definitely not. It's just the law of
the law of conservation of energy. I definitely thought that was Newton. Einstein. Welcome back, brother. Okay, so what it really boils down to is that we are energy, warped in meat and bones. So it stands to reason that our energy exchanges with one another in a given moment during this life, as well as in our death. I hope that my little mantra might help someone who needs a way to conceptualize a boundary, but maybe wants to remain somewhat open. I feel the urge to apologize for the length of this. No, this was fucking amazing. I very much appreciate it.
I'm taking the advice for
Me
the podcast
too. I was sitting here thinking like, okay, I can
Cases.
100% apply this to my life. I feel the urge to apologize for the length of this. Instead, I will attach pics of my cantankerous old lady doggos, Nyx and Daria, for attacks. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And even if this isn't on the podcast, I appreciate the chance to write this all out. Corey, I fucking love you.
Yeah, I love you too,
And
Corey.
also there's pictures of Corey's dad in here. I put it in a Google Doc so me and you can access it.
And Corey, I don't know how to say this, but I can tell by the way you write your creepy accounts that
You're fucking smart.
that you're from And That's Why We Drink. It
Yeah.
sounds like your
It's
listener
so,
stories.
It's so Em and Christine coded.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you and your dad. Your doggies. This is me with my dog Nixie during New Year's Eve. Oh, she's had neurosurgery due to a cyst. She was 8 at this time, now 5. She's 13 and still as goofy as ever.
Oh.
How cute. Look how cute you are, Corey. This is Daria. She has one toe on her. Huh? Oh, she only has one toe on her back right foot because it was caught in a bear trap when she was a stray in Texas. She's about to be 10 years old. Oh, look at her. She's so pretty.
Stop.
Did you see this one?
Oh.
That's Nixie. Cutie pie. In the background is my 3-year-old. Born 4 days before my dad's birthday in 2021. So cute.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you so much, Corey, for listening to us and for coming over from And That's Why We Drink, and for giving your information, for giving the information that you did, to help
I'm
other
really
people.
taking that and applying
No,
it.
truly,
And I think a lot of our listeners can
so relate to exactly the way that you worded it too. Your wording was phenomenal. So guys, we're going to head over to Patreon and record their episode 81. And
I have a great case for Patreon episode 81.
I do too.
It's fun.
I
It's
put a
something
lot of
it's
work
like
into
way
it.
different.
Mine's way different too.
Copycat.
I know. We didn't even talk about it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will see you on TBB. You can pop over to our Patreon if you're feeling crazy. And that's patreon.com/creeps and crimes. If you love us so freaking much that you're like, oh my God, I want to tell the world about them, you should leave us a 5-star review. If you're listening on Patreon, if you're listening on Spotify.
And maybe go over the 5-star and write us a really nice, some kind words, some positive, some
positive
praise.
reinforcement here. Some praise. Give us some praise. Give us some praise here, okay?
We're hurting.
Yeah, and if you listen on Spotify and you're like, oh, well, I do have an Apple phone, I could go over to the Apple podcasting app because I love them so fucking much. You maybe should.
Yeah.
Maybe should. Tell your friends about us. You can go watch on YouTube. I have been consistent host for the last week.
Doing so good.
I caught up a little bit. There's like 4 that I've given up on completely. Like I'm like, all right.
I think 2 of the 4 we didn't even record.
Yeah, I think I was ill, like whatever. But anyways, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much to everyone that wrote in their creepy accounts. If you would like to send in your creepy account, you can go to creepsandcrimes.ca@gmail.com. Email it to us through there. You can go to our website, which is creepsandcrimespodcast.com, and there is a submission portal on there, and then you can go to our Reddit page, which is Reddit Creeps and Crimes. You can post it on there with the flag creepy account. And thanks so much to everyone that wrote in their creepy accounts today, or the people that we missed. We'll come back to them. We promise. We
Great
always
stories today.
Yeah, they're great stories. So thanks so much to everyone that wrote in. If you need to call Susan, her information is always in the show descriptions of our creepy account episodes.
And we'll get you that code next week.
Okay, perfect. Love
my
you guys
birthday.
so much. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.